Check out great deals throughout the store at Safeway. This week at Safeway, get mega packs of USDA Choice boneless beef chuck roast for $3.97 per pound with digital coupon, limit 2 packages. Plus, Hass avocados are 10 for $10 member price. And get Fuji apples for just 77 cents per pound with digital coupon. Also this week at Safeway, get selected varieties of Lucerne milk gallons for the member price of $3.99 each when you buy 2. Visit Safeway.com or head into your local store for more deals.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
In times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, and you will.
We're all gonna die!
What a disaster. No, we're not talking about this podcast. You know what? I'm going to leave. It's fine.
Yeah, that was a terrible joke.
It was.
Well, anyways, hello everyone.
Hey, welcome
and
back.
welcome back to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, the action, the military,
And the pop culture.
The pop culture.
All of the pop cultures.
All of the pop cultures. My name is Cameron Fath. Thank you for being here in your cars. And with me as always...
Thank you for being Israel Wright in your cars. I'm a car.
Yes, you're a car. And not only are you a car, you're a Toyota.
I am. I'm the Toyota Tundra of podcast episode
Yeah,
hosts.
that's what Chris was saying earlier. Yes. Anyways, today's episode... It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel like making some half-ass attempt to save it.
Yay.
Disasters!
When the things go wrong.
When
Who do you call? Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis,
Maybe the military.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
I feel like we've done... This is going to be like a culmination
Yeah, there's
of
a bit of
multiple episodes. Because what we've done an episode about monsters.
Yep.
We've done an episode about zombies. We've done an episode about...
You're right.
Have we done weather?
Well, we haven't done bad weather ones.
We haven't done bad weather.
There
we go.
Weather in the military. Weather in action.
Weather and action.
Weather and weapons.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of the culmination of all of those episodes because it's just about disasters.
Right.
And disasters can be,
Horrible.
whatever, the end of the world. The
Yeah.
end of the world is coming.
Or your parents getting divorced.
Yeah. Depending on how, entitled and, spoiled
How
you
bad
are.
you were. How much you loved your parents.
Exactly. Parent trap.
Yep.
Parent trap.
The parent trap is that you think your parents are good, but they're not.
Yeah, they're actually pieces of shit. But, I mean, the only thing the world loves more than a run-of-the-mill romantic comedy is a movie, TV show, or the game where the world is going to potentially end. And who is always at the front of the line to do the saving? Yes, that's right. It is the military oil men. Oil men. And they have 2 brothers. See, this is what happens when I
it's
try
just
to...
called 2 brothers.
This is just called 2. This is what happens when I try to read a script. I'm never
Yeah.
reading scripts again.
Never
See,
read a script.
I skip
You get the
line.
impression and then you just run with it.
Yeah, you get it. We're talking about disasters today. And
Disasters.
military, it seems... The question of the day is... Is it R? Grammatically correct?
No, the question of the day is. It's singular.
Is...
Yeah. R would
comma,
be multiple questions.
Is
Questions of the day are-
because there's 2 ises here. This is what I want to say. I want to say
The
question of the
what is
day
the definition
is,
of the
comma,
word? What is the
is.
definition of the word is?
Yeah, no. What I'm trying to say is not Israel. I forgot my train of thought. This is bad. I've totally forgot what I was saying. This is bad.
Listen, folks.
I
We're
remember
trying
now.
to listen. The world's ending, and what role is the military? I thought you were going to ask because I'm thinking like, is it the military's fault? Are there ever any movies or video games or TV shows where it's the military's fault?
No, I'm not.
There is
thinking
one.
that.
I got one on the list here actually, where it is
What,
kind
like
of
World War Z?
No, The Mist.
The Mist. Yeah, that isn't. Oh, not to be confused with The Fog.
Not to be confused with The Fog. This is the different consistency of smoky vapors.
Stuff.
No, because you know what? Why don't we just do it? Why don't we just jump in there? Why don't we jump
My
into
question.
The
I
Mist?
remember what I was trying to say,
Okay,
but
all right.
the grammar fucked me up because it was like the question of the day is, comma, is the military the savior for disasters?
Right.
That's
Who do
what
they
I'm trying to
call
say.
on? Usually not the military. Sometimes the military.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say yes. Because logistically, yes, the military is used religiously. Because I'm trying to think.
I think writers usually when they think about logistics of how to get things done and getting people from one place to another, like in World War Z with Brad Pitt, it's the military. They have the logistics, they have the manpower and the equipment to conceivably get a lot of different stuff done. So they just kind of shove them into that writers kind of shove them into that role, where they are the ones. Because obviously we know that military has a large budget, especially the U.S. military. It's usually the U.S. military that they call upon, that really gets things done,
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking because I just watched this movie the other day. It's that new Netflix movie, Don't Look Up, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, you watched it? How was it?
I did. I found it entertaining.
Okay.
I found it entertaining because it is such, I mean, it's a little biased because obviously it's Hollywood and
Sure.
it's more politically like left,
Sure.
but there's a lot of elements of it that you're just like, yeah, we are fucking stupid. Like today's generation of people are
Bit of a dark comedy.
It's extremely dark comedy.
Yeah,
And it's
okay.
pretty much, I mean, the basis of it, like, they discovered this comet, it's coming, and, like, scientists have, like, confirmed, and, like, the president is, like, it's definitely, like, a fuck you to, like, the Trump administration.
Oh, okay.
'Cause, like,
Is she a
they're like-
Republican? Is Glenn Close?
Yeah,
Meryl Streep
pretty
a
much
Republican?
that, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna sit here and assess until, our people do it, because, we have Ivy Leaguers, and you're from Michigan State, and you're saying you know this, and then it's like the whole political, just split down the middle, where like there's people that are like the comet doesn't exist; it's something that the government is.
They're anti-commenters.
Yeah, they're anti-comets, and then there's people that are like It's literally just look up. It's in the sky. And there's people that are like, don't look up. This is just a political team to control you. And then, like, the end of the movie, pretty much, no, the comet's fucking real. And they, like, a company that's, like, mimicking the big, like, an Amazon, if you will, is just like, yeah, no, we're going to use our rockets because not only are we going to save the human world, there's actually like $32 trillion worth of resources that we could use to like do cell phones and products and all this on the comet. So everyone's like, oh, you mean there's like a lot of money that we can make off this comet? So they're like, we're not going to deflect it anymore. We're going to try to land.
So capitalism.
Yeah, so capitalism basically sparks off of it. And instead of trying to save people, they're like, no, we're going to break the comet apart and we're going to like take all the money because there's trillions of dollars and we don't have to worry about China anymore. Like, because they control all these mines.
Right.
But at the end,
I actually don't want to watch this movie now.
Yeah, no. At the end, it's like everybody fucking dies. Yeah, they're just like, well, because they were greedy and they like
because of
the
greedy and
thing,
politics.
Yeah, because of greed
we just
and
couldn't
politics
get it together.
and everything. They're like, we couldn't band together and just literally save the human race. It was all about money. It was all about politics. It was all about big companies doing whatever they wanted to.
No, I don't need to
everybody
watch this
fucking
movie.
dies.
Yeah, I don't need to watch this movie anymore. Thank you.
But my point of the movie was like in the beginning. Like when they found out, they just used the military to like prove. Like the military played a small role. It just played to like get them from point A to point B. They're like, oh, you have potentially like world-ending news. Here, we're gonna fly you in, a C-130 to get here immediately. Yeah,
it's a logistical writer's tool.
Yeah, and then the rest was just like instead of the military doing something or NASA doing something, it was like an Amazon doing something or SpaceX doing something or the billionaires of the world that are like, well, we can do it because we have these resources.
Money.
Yeah. So that was the only movie that was like, well, the military doesn't really play a role. I also think that it's a that it is a situational dependent thing. Like if the end of the world is like inevitable, like there is like a third party, if you will, out of space that like a comet. There's nothing really the military can do except try to blow it up.
Right.
But if it's like a zombie apocalypse or it's like a disease, there's a lot of things the military can do.
There's a lot of resources, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the disaster.
I think so.
Like you're saying, situational dependent.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about one of the situations. Let's talk about another comet-related situation. Let's talk about Armageddon. From 98. We had a big disaster movie. They kind of come in waves, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Where 98 we had two of the same one. We had Armageddon and Deep Impact. I've not seen Deep Impact, but I saw Armageddon, and that's where they get Bruce Willis and his crack team of oil rig workers to basically stop this giant comet they want to blow it apart, right? So like split and like miss the Earth, right? And it's just like I love all the time condensing that they do. You know, it's it happens in 18 days. They train up in like a day or two on this massive equipment. Like if you ever like, there was a documentary on Netflix about the Challenger program, and they had that teacher, and I always thought, you know, that the woman who was the teacher that was going to be she was going to be like a passenger. It was like a pleasure cruise. She was going to sit there in the chair, but like no, she had to undergo like massive amounts of training. She had to basically become like an astronaut in like, you know, like less than a year or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love that. I just love the, I mean, it's a little bit more hopeful than Don't Look Up, probably.
Yeah, no, it's like in
Where it's
Don't
like-
Look Up, they hire who's the guy that played Ron Perlman, and he's like some salty ass veteran who's like says racial slurs and everything.
Of course.
And he's just like, he's an American hero. It's like, we could use, you know, technology to break this comet apart, but we need a face of this. We need a sacrifice. So they're like, sign this guy up. And as he's going up, he's like, just want to say hi to the gays and then the Indians, you know, not the ones on the elephants, but like the ones with bows and arrows. And
Oh, jeez.
it's so politically.
They want to get it all in.
Yeah,
there,
no, it was
you
funny.
know.
It was funny. But anyways, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Armageddon. Basically, the military is just kind of like the womb within which all this kind of stuff takes place, because they got all the research. They got these like top secret like spacecraft and like the little like rover things that they have, like the giant rovers and stuff like. It's awesome. Like it's super epic. Have you seen it? Like it's been a long. Oh, you haven't seen it?
You know, I probably
have you seen Deep Impact?
No. Yeah, I probably have seen these movies.
We're gonna have to skip Deep Impact.
Yeah, I haven't. I think I definitely know about Armageddon because like they launch them into space, right? And
there's two. Yeah, they have two spaceships that they launch, and one of them actually ends up crashing. And then like Ben Affleck's in it, and they get separated, I think, and they go to the other spacecraft and they grab like the equipment there, you know, and it ends up like, you know, they have to get out of there. Time's running out. Bruce Willis is there, and he sacrifices himself, you know, and he's like, and Liv Tyler's his daughter, and, you know, and stuff like that. And she's like, no, my father's up there, you know. She doesn't sound like I do, but because I've been sick.
My father's up there.
My father's up there.
Where's my cigarettes?
Choose Batman or choose Spider-Man. Oh, I messed that up.
You did.
But yeah, he blows himself up, and they save the day, and there's that famous, you know, Aerosmith song, "I lie awake just to hear you breathing. I don't want to close my eyes.
I don't want to fall asleep.
There you go.
I miss you, baby.
And I don't want to miss the thing." Won an Oscar for that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Super epic movie.
I gotta add that to my karaoke list.
And we're just going to skip right over Deep Impact because neither of us have seen it. But you should definitely...
Unless, Chris, you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I actually prefer it over Armageddon because Armageddon to me is insanely unrealistic.
Insanely unrealistic.
Like even within the guidelines of an action movie, it's like no. But Deep Impact, it takes, instead of 18 days, it takes course over like 2 years.
Oh.
So it's a little more realistic in that way. But also,
Are you telling me you can't take oil divers or oil drillers and train them to be astronauts?
Yeah, real slam on oil rig drillers out of nowhere.
hey, my grandfather was an oil rig foreman. And he's a very smart dude, but I'm
he's
pretty
an
sure the
astronaut.
guys underneath him were not.
Yeah.
But
big slam on Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
He's a geologist.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Anyway, but in Deep Impact, the military plays more of a role as in like population control because it's 2 years, and so they have to institute martial law and all these things. And also in Deep Impact, they have a plan, and it's not we're going to split an asteroid in half. It's we dug these caves in the limestone hills of, I think, North Dakota, and they're going to basically put a couple million people in there to like save them.
Right.
And the military has to like institute that.
They have to do a lottery.
It's a national lottery, yeah. It's
What
by
are
your
the
social
other
security
countries
number.
doing? Like, this is like what America's doing. Like, does England have the same thing? Like, we have our own mountains?
In classic American movie fashion, they don't talk about
Fuck everybody else. This is America.
There's not one word, although the mission to go and try and like deflect the comet is a joint mission between the US and the Russians.
Very hopeful kind of thing, yeah.
The Russians are in charge of the nuclear bombs.
Ironic.
Yeah. So, I mean, but in Deep Impact, the military's role is more realistic, I guess. They're
Yeah.
more of
I
like
mean, I
a
think
force.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In my opinion sways now. It's like, instead of calling the military the saving force, I would call them more of a facilitator.
Facilitator. Of course.
Because, I mean, it's not like, in Armageddon or in Deep Impact, they are recruiting soldiers to, geologist soldiers that, soldiers that happen to work in geology department of the Army.
Yeah.
That, do this shit. They're like, okay, PFC Brian, I know you were a geologist, so we're going to send you in space. No, they like gather actual scientists and actual normal civilians and just facilitate their movement to where they can put them in a position to where they can save the day.
Yeah.
So we're just we're support.
Right.
They're ultimate cheerleader.
Ultimate, yeah. I mean, now, with, but not always. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, movies like, we got, like, Edge of Tomorrow on here, where, well, he's not really, like, where I'm thinking of, like, where they are the saviors. Like, we have Edge of Tomorrow and the Tomorrow War. A lot of Tomorrows.
And then Halo.
But Edge of Tomorrow, Halo. I mean, Halo, any Halo.
Yeah,
of course he's going to be
Master Chief has to save the
savior
day.
of the world, savior of the universe, actually, because he's Master Chief, because he can do that. But pretty much everyone else in the Halo series is useless, except for what's that Sergeant Apone? He's not Apone, but he's modeled after Apone.
Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson. There
Sergeant Avery Johnson.
We talked about it before, but let's talk about Edge of Tomorrow a little bit. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no, I love it.
Okay,
They're coming out with a new one, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sequel.
That's cool. It was a cool movie.
I don't know what they're gonna do, because I mean, obviously,
He lost the gift at the end.
Well, he got it back at the end.
Oh, he got it
Yeah, because the way that he jumps back is he's in the water and the mother brain is there, and he gets slacked by the mother brain's tentacles, but he drops the grenades, and it blows the thing up, and then that blood from the grenade explosion like seeps into his body, and he jumps back even further to where they're all just dead because he killed the mother brain, right? And so that's how it starts. It starts at the very beginning, like before the invasion, and he knows what would have happened, and he goes and says hi to Emily Blunt. She doesn't know because she hasn't lived through the events, but and that's how the movie ends,
Interesting.
But super great, like Tom Cruise. That why this movie is so great, because it has like a real kind of hero's journey. Like he starts as like a selfish guy.
Yeah, he starts as a coward.
Yeah, he starts as a coward.
He's just some fly boy.
He's like psyops, and he's civil affairs.
Yeah,
basically.
and he's just like, I'm not.
He's the
trying to
PR
fight.
guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not fighting.
He's trying to
I just
sell
wear
the
this
war.
uniform.
Yeah, and then he tries to like blackmail that general. And the general's like, "Oh, okay, then we're just gonna put you in a private's uniform and put you on the front lines."
Yeah, because he's like a major.
Yeah, but it's all like civil affairs. Like it doesn't really. He's not a military man. He's not a military mindset.
He's just
he's the PR guy.
He's a Captain America originally.
Well, yeah,
But
in terms of like being like a figurehead.
Yeah, figure.
He's the face of the operation.
Face of the operation.
But then, he eventually becomes, through that training, he becomes the Delta Force. A one-man Delta Force, if you will.
Hey, repetition's the name of the game, man.
That's right.
But it's super cool. I mean, that is a good, because, I mean, the way they win is soldiers win that fight. And that just goes back to my point where it's situational dependent.
Yeah.
Disaster dependent on who's going to save the day. If, it just takes grit and guns, the military is going to save it for like a zombie apocalypse.
You talk about like the infantry and us closing the distance, taking that last 100 yards. Last 100 yards belongs to the infantry.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much a relentless enemy in Edge of Tomorrow, because they're unfeeling, unthinking. They're like a hive mind. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want resources. They just want to destroy. Destroy. So it would be
assimilate.
It's appropriate that you would have to send like an equally savage force against them.
When you get down to the 10-yard line, you're gonna need my Rangers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love that movie. It's good. I mean, I like the technology. I like the exoskeleton type,
Yep.
We're just gonna get in this, and all these guns are cool.
Yeah.
They did that movie very well.
They did.
Even though Tom
did.
Cruise is a Scientologist, he did a good job in that movie.
He's a good actor. Yeah,
he's a good actor.
He's a commit. One thing Tom Cruise is he's a committed actor.
Absolutely.
Like anything he does, any role he undertakes,
it's
he
full
wants
immersion.
he wants to fully train.
Yeah, and like he's a pilot.
Well, yeah, I
he
think
has a pilot license.
I don't know. Does he actually fly the plane, or
they wouldn't let him fly the
jets?
The jets, because obviously that's a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment.
Yeah,
that they can't
even
just be
Tom
like,
Cruise.
here's the keys.
Doesn't have that kind of weight. Yeah,
but he is a licensed pilot, and he does all his own stunts on what the Mission Impossibles and
Yep.
everything.
There's that famous jumping over the rooftop, jumping through the gap thing where he breaks his ankle, and it just keeps on trucking, man.
Just keeps on trucking. So kudos to you, Tom Cruise, but you can be a nicer guy.
Yeah.
From what we've seen.
Just believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Just throw away Xenu.
Yeah.
Grab Jesus.
Okay, moving on. Let's see. We mentioned briefly Halo.
Right.
Let's talk about that one.
This is another world-ending, universe-ending
just because
event.
the new Halo's out, Halo Infinity's
Halo's
out,
up.
and I've heard nothing but good things about
People
it.
keep asking me on stream when I'm going to play it.
That's strictly
I look forward to it.
Xbox.
Yeah, it's Xbox. Yeah,
And a live-action Halo show is coming to
You're right. There's a
Paramount
live-action
Plus.
Halo show coming out. That
Is
actually
that on Amazon or Paramount?
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. Halo, Master Chief saving the Earth from the Didact, who tries to use the composer.
Have you played Halo 4? Because
I've played Halo 4.
I've only played 1 and 2. So I know about the Flood. I know about the Ring. The Covenant and stuff.
I played 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think 4 was, and then Reach. And then 4 was the last one I played. And that was a while ago. That was maybe, when did that come out? 2014, I want to say?
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, right. Because it was right before I left for basic training. But there's like this, the Didact, those are those like geographical looking fucking things. Or geometric, excuse me, wrong word.
Yeah.
Geometric looking shapes and aliens. And yeah, that one was a little weird. Definitely not the best Halo made, but Master Chief, as always, does what he does best and kicks ass and takes names.
Self-sacrificing hero, man.
Yep. I'm
Does
here
he ever-
to chew
yeah.
bubblegum and kick Covenant ass.
And I'm all out of bubblegum. Does he ever... Master Chief seems like a pretty kind of... I'm not going to say like one note or not a very layered character. Does he ever like question anything? Does he ever like, go against company orders? Does he ever kind of like, have like any kind of dynamic aspects to his character? Or is he pretty much like, hey, I'm here to kill. I'm here to go. Let's go.
He has some conflicting moral things. I think
I'd say he's dynamic. Just
he's very dynamic.
If only through his relationship with Cortana.
Yeah, it's all
with
through
his AI.
Cortana.
Cortana. Okay.
Yeah,
There's
she's like his
dynamism there.
She's the beauty to his beast.
Yeah, even though she's like a
little bit.
Yeah, she's like a hologram. She's not a real person, right?
No.
How dare
She's
you?
like his,
How dare
his
you
AI
take away
assistant.
humanity? No, yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew that. She's cool. She gets prettier and prettier as she gets
true.
better rendered.
It's not true though. They really
not?
they really did her dirty. On the new one. They like made her flat chested. It's fucking.
And
Everyone's pissed about it because like there's before and after. They're like she used to be like hourglass in the older ones, and now she's just like a straight line.
Yeah, very important that your AI has curves.
I know. It's really funny. It's like Twitter is blowing up about it.
No,
Yeah, it's pretty funny. As to our women viewers that are very far and few in between, that we respect all humans or all female
we
body
respect
shapes.
all female body shapes. Yes, there we go.
But
Good save.
Cortana, yeah, she's like his. I'm trying to word. I can't think today.
She's the yin to his yang.
she's
she
like
kind
his.
of brings that out of him. That character development.
She's the guy in the chair.
muse.
She's the guy in the chair. She's the girl in the chair. She's the flat-chested girl in the chair.
Yeah, she's the muse. She is his muse, and he will get emotional if like she's like suffering or something like that.
Okay, good.
But yeah.
She can feel what he's feeling.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's a perfect example right there, because he's still military, like military saving the world. But there you go again. That's the type of conflict that only guns and grit can really take care of.
Right. Yep.
Unless we go to.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
What is this? Or The Mist.
We can talk about The Mist.
You want to talk about The Mist?
Yeah, I love The Mist, man. The Mist is 2007 movie, Frank Darabont directed, based off of a
We've
story
talked about
it before.
this one.
I
It's
think
a
we
good
talked
one.
about sad endings. I think
Sad
downer
endings, yeah.
Very sad ending.
Very.
But in this
Spoilers
one,
ahead.
if you remember, one of the characters, the guy who plays, I forget the actor's name, but he plays Star Killer in the Force Unleashed video game series. He is a military guy. He's a low-ranking military guy. And he's in the store with him, and then they kind of like corner him or something. Like he starts freaking out, and they corner him, and start asking him like,
What,
you know,
Sam Witwer?
Sam Witwer. There you go, Sam Witwer. And then he freaks out, and they're saying like, where did this stuff come from? He's like, there's some experiments. They don't go into detail because it's really not pertinent to the story, you know. But he goes into like, there's something that they were doing where like they opened up like basically a portal, like an interdimensional portal. Yeah, Sam Witwer, Private Jessup. And
You know why he doesn't know much about it? Because he's a fucking private.
He's
why
Private Jessup.
It's like, you know, side note, you know, it's really funny that like you join the military and then you come back home and all your civilian acquaintances now are like, so tell me, do aliens exist? And it's just like, I don't fucking know.
What do you
dude.
think? They don't tell me
I
these
mop
things.
a floor. Like, I would just mop a floor and get the
I'm in
shit
chem.
smoked
I'm in
out of
chem
me.
debt. I'm a transportation. I drive a truck.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
a truck driver, dude. What do you want to tell me if like the biofuel we are using is killing the planet? Then probably, but that's about all I know.
So basically, that's like a popular kind of trope in writing. Is basically you take the military and you say, well, the military's into all this stuff. They got Area 51. They got all this kind of thing. You know, they're the ones that
He's got a
responsible.
secret clearance. He knows.
They release this evil upon the world. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that's been used before in a lot of different. You guys can tell me what other movies or video games or television shows is the military responsible for the evil that gets unleashed on the world. You know, as opposed to being the ones that are kind of like the saviors or the logistics.
We covered that a little bit,
Yeah.
in the zombie one, because it's a common trope in the zombies one. So
Yes.
in
It's like the military experiments, like what's
Planet
that new
Terror,
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead, that
Planet
was
Terror.
also
Army of the Dead was like, yeah, they crashed the
Night of the
their
Comet.
experiment.
They're kind of the bad
Night of the
people,
Comet, that's
but
a
they
good
don't
one.
cause the comet. But obviously they
Take over. You know,
they do
kinda-
bad stuff.
Yeah.
like you do.
You know what I'd like to talk about for a little bit, if you don't mind?
Do it.
The Fallout series.
Yeah, go for it.
Now,
man.
principally, I don't want to be a poser. What I don't like doing is talking about things that I haven't played or watched or anything like that. So, principally, I'm going to talk about Fallout 3.
Sure,
that's
man.
the last
I've never
full-
played any of the Fallouts. so
Fallout's
that's all
great.
good.
Fallout series, if you like exploration, post-apocalyptic exploration, and this one has a cool twist to it because they kind of it's like an alternate history where everything looks kind of very 1940s-ish, kind of in terms of design and stuff like that, almost like very kind of like steampunk or whatever in the design, but it's all like futuristic. It's like what we thought the future would be when we made like sci-fi movies in the 50s.
Like Flying DeLorean.
Yeah, like the laser guns look all like bulbous and like wild and stuff, and
Yeah.
the armor looks like
It's like Tomorrowland.
lots of gear. Yeah, lots of gears and like dials and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
get it.
that.
In the
But-
future, there will be, you know.
Yeah, welcome to the future today.
Yeah.
It's like a little newsreel type thing.
Yeah.
But Fallout 3 takes place in Washington, D.C., the capital. And you're walking around. And so there's like the militaristic group that I want to talk about is the Brotherhood of Steel. They've kind of like reconstituted something of a like an order, basically, a very militaristic order. And they're kind of one of the major factions that you encounter. And you can choose to join them and help them. There's a cool like side mission where they have like, they call it, what is it, the Iron Patriot or the... There's like a giant robot that they have reconstructed. It's like a super weapon from one of the previous wars that they reconstruct, and then you go on this all-out attack on this one. Liberty Prime. It's a giant robot, Liberty Prime, walking tall, and it's pretty awesome. It's like this giant, like, Iron Man-looking robot thing. But anyway, I feel like that's one of the popular things to do in like a post-apocalyptic wasteland is to have basically militarized. Things get militarized because once society falls, what order do you have? Like, what's the most likely group or kind of person that's going to help to kind of rebuild or at least gain some semblance of order? It would be the military. You know what I mean? So that's why I like the Fallout series, why I like the Brotherhood of Steel. And then I know that in New Vegas there's Caesar's Legion, which is kind of like they kind of model themselves after like a Roman legion stuff. Very kind of, but I haven't played New Vegas. I know they're in New Vegas, but anyway, I just want to kind of put that in there in terms of like things that you see in pop culture where the military has a militaristic bent or a militaristic kind of format. Super cool. I'm trying to think if there's any other. If you guys can think of any other video games where there's like military type units. that are either keeping it together or causing havoc, or it's just I think it's, if you want to think of like organization, that's one of those things. It's like military kind of most easily comes to mind because there's a structure to it. There's a format. There's a command structure. It's not democratic, but maybe in those kinds of situations, that's not what's called for. You need like strong leadership, or maybe even just like autocrat, like not democratic, like a singular leader, like
one,
like the Caesar,
monocratic.
Exactly, monocratic.
Is that a word?
Monochromatic.
Monochromatic. I'm not
But
sure.
what do you think, man?
I'm sorry, I blanked out
You're right
when you
over
were
there.
talking. I was researching something while you were talking.
I could tell. That's why I tried to keep going. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he's obviously not paying attention to anything
I
I'm
wasn't paying
saying.
attention to a word you're saying because I said I'm gonna let you have this one.
Well, what do you got, man? What
Oh,
else?
what do I want to talk about? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got
disasters, military.
Can you guys talk about Pacific Rim a little bit?
Yeah, let's do
you.
it.
Sure, man. Big old robots and shit.
I mostly
Pacific
want you to answer the question, could you guys drift?
Oh,
Could we drift?
are we? That's what I want to know. But Pacific, when it comes to Pacific Rim, are we drift compatible? Is
Really,
that-
I find that very. Every time I see that, like when they're drifting, I think of Rick and Morty, the dragon, and Rick when they're like, "We're bonding."
Is that a fifth
Yeah,
season? I haven't seen it. The fifth
It's
season.
no, it's like what is it, the fourth or third? I think it's the fourth season.
Okay, I
but
haven't
it's
seen that
like
one either.
dragons are considered sluts, and like they soul bond. They soul bond with people, and like when they're soul bonding, it's like an orgasmic sensation.
Oh my
So
gosh,
like,
of course it is.
yeah, of course. So like all the dragons are like slut dragons. It's
Slut
fucking funny.
dragons.
So they like go around just soul bonding with everybody. And it's really funny. So I was like, drifting, is that like a soul bond? Or just like,
No.
I feel you.
No, it's absolutely not.
It's just a connection of the mind.
It's a mind connection. Yeah, it's basically like, because they have the two hemispheres, the two sides of the robot
Yeah.
have to be controlled by one person each.
Yeah.
So in order to connect and like coordinate movements, you have to be what's called drift compatible. And it's I think we could be actually.
You think so?
Because I think you and I have. We don't have. I think we have similar temperaments, if not similar personalities, but similar temperaments. Like we're kind of easygoing dudes.
Yeah.
We don't
definitely
tend
down.
to be confrontational.
We're down to earth.
We're down to
Yeah.
earth. Yeah, we're pretty relaxed in our
Yes,
views.
I think,
and, that kind of stuff. So I think we'd totally be.
I think we
compatible.
can drift, man.
What would our Jaeger name be?
Jaeger.
Jaeger. What would our hunter? What would our robot's name be? Because they got like
Let's call it Goliath because
Goliath.
there's some Bible theme in there.
Yeah,
Plus,
we
he's a
we
big-
got to call it like what? But it's like Goliath, like Mega Bomb or something.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they have like two
Goliath
names, right?
Marauder.
Yeah, Goliath Marauder. Goliath Marauder is the name of our Jaeger, folks.
There you go.
And
Jaeger.
if you guys got fan art out there,
Yeah, and
make
we'll call
that
it,
Marauder.
And every
Goliath
time
Marauder.
we'll call it Jägermeister.
A Jägermeister, yes.
Yeah, be like, let's get in the Jägermeister.
Yep,
Yeah,
we are
Goliath Marauder, our Jägermeister.
Our Jägermeister, the master hunter. Yep.
Exactly. What weapon? Isn't each Jaeger have like their
We
own?
have like a special. What was our special? Is it like a bunch of speakers that roll out of us and they like blast like awesome heavy metal music at the monster and to confuse them?
No,
and then we just like
dumb.
poke them in the
poke
eye.
them in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like really long fingers.
Yeah, really long fingers to poke them in the eyes.
And I would want like a giant war axe made of like
An axe.
laser.
That would be cool. Like a
laser
hot,
axe.
like a laser's edge to it. Like at
Yeah,
the very,
like
it can slice through anything.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Like a two-handed axe.
All right, there we
Something
go.
really destructive.
Yeah.
There you go, Chris. You
Yeah,
happy we
that's it,
talked about
that's it.
Pacific Rim? Perfect. Well, the reason I zoned out of the last one.
What were you researching?
I actually skipped ahead and I was reading the fan question. And I got really confused because it's about 75th Ranger Regiment, and I had like doubts in my head, and I was like, "Huh, that's a good question," because I don't remember.
Do you want to talk about that?
I don't know, Chris. You think we've talked enough about disasters?
I mean, that's really up to you guys.
I'm done with disasters, but before we do that,
Oh yes,
we got to do a big shout out to
Yes.
Jonathan Goddard, who bought us a lot
bought
of
us a lot of
coffees.
coffees. Thank you,
He
John.
bought us a lot of
That's
coffees,
amazing,
man.
man.
So thank you so very much. That was extremely, extremely generous of you. And
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, you can buy us coffees through
called Buy Me a
link. Yeah,
Coffee.
it's called Buy Me a Coffee.
Which is, I think it's such a clever name.
It is cool. I mean, it's a donation platform to where if you're feeling generous or you want to support the podcast, you can go through the links on our Instagram or on our YouTube and donate by buying us a coffee, essentially. And all the proceeds go right back into the podcast. We just bought these new microphones to make us sound a lot sexier. So thank you for everyone.
There's actually nothing wrong with my voice right now. It's just the microphone
filter.
It makes me sound manlier. Yeah.
Exactly, because we all knew that was one of Israel's downfall. Right. We're like, how?
Sound
in
like
the last
like
podcast meeting, we're
child.
like, how can we make
Like a
Israel
newborn
sound
babe.
manlier?
How can we make him sound more like Willem Dafoe from the Green Goblin?
Yeah. Make up your mind, Spider-Man.
Choose Spider-Man.
But thank you, John. That was extremely generous. If you guys feel generous, like I said, check out the links to Buy Me a Coffee on our Instagram or on our YouTube page. So this episode's fan question is from Tor Blacken18 on YouTube. Thanks for asking, Tor Blacken18. And their question is, the Regimental Reconnaissance Company, do you have to be part of the 75th Ranger Regiment to qualify for selection, or can any branch of the military try for selection? So this is interesting. So basically, RRC, RRD, Ranger Reconnaissance Detachment, Ranger Reconnaissance Company, is their tier 1 unit within the 75th. So they are like special reconnaissance to the max. You have to go through a selection process after regiment to get there, and they're like the big titties on campus for 75th. So as far as knowing, do I have to spend time in regiment? I think you do. I was actually really curious because I know in Delta, you can go to CAG selection from the big army. Like, they pull dudes from 82nd all the time. They pull dudes from, soft units. But I was doing a little research, and this memo, I found a memo online, and it is from 2011. I mean, it's over 12 years ago.
Wow. And
I'll just read you what it says as far as qualifications. Okay. I mean, the subject line is, the 75th Ranger Regimental Reconnaissance Company is seeking the very best soldiers within the U.S. Army to fill operational positions. So in my head, that's from anywhere.
Right.
But then I read, to be considered for hire, you must meet the following prerequisites. Within the MOS series of 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie, so infantry or mortar, having served time within the 75th Ranger Regiment or other special operations units. And the next one, within the MOS of 13 Fox, 25 Bravo, 68 Whiskey, so pretty much forward observers, comms dudes, or medics, if currently serving within the 75th Ranger Regiment or other special operations units, have a minimum of 1 year rated leadership time, must be Ranger qualified, airborne qualified, if not already airborne qualified, must be willing to volunteer, GT score of 110 or higher, must be able to obtain Class 2 Halo flight physical, because you're getting Halo certified, and have a secret security clearance, and must be able to attain top secret clearance. And then obviously the no UCMJ accidents, no alcohol related, able to do the regimental fitness standards and ruck 50 pounds dry plus water at a rate of 4 to 5 miles an hour for extended duration.
Very specific.
Very specific. But pretty much that was in 2011. So it does seem like you need either time in 75th Ranger Regiment under your belt, or you need to come from a special operations unit. Okay. So that's going to be a pretty big thing, just because in special operations, the dynamic is much different than big army. So I would assume, just based off this memo, that you have to serve within the 75th or a similar special operations unit. So,
all right.
Might be different now, though. Who knows?
This is from 2011. At least 10 years old. Yeah.
It's 10 years old, but it sounds pretty accurate to me.
Right.
So Tor Blacken18.
It's a very, very pointed, very specific fan question. I appreciate that.
That is a very specific, because I mean, there's have spent almost 4 years in regiment. My knowledge of RRC is very minimal.
Huh.
Yeah, they are very low key. And it might be just because I was at 275, which is on the complete other side of the country.
Oh, and they're not at Fort Lewis?
No, they're not at Fort Lewis. Right. They're at Fort Benning.
Okay.
Yeah, they're next to the new, basically, Yeah, they're at Fort Benning, essentially, next to 375.
Okay.
And like when I was going through RASP, I'd see them drive quads around and everything. And you're just like, who are those guys? Or even when we were doing like MLAT together, which was like our airfield takeover training, you would see dudes that you're like, who the fuck is that? And you're like, oh, it's an RRC guy. And you're like, I don't know anything about these dudes. But yeah.
Interesting.
I hope that answers your question.
With that, let's do our game.
Let's play the game.
It's game time, baby.
It's game time. Who's got the game?
Cam, you do.
I got the game. I am the game master. Ha ha ha. I am the master of the game. Okay. Are you ready for this game?
I don't know about this.
This one is just for Izzy, the master of disasters.
Oh, no.
This game is
true.
2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
Rules are the same as they ever were. I'll give you 3 statements about a movie, TV show, or video game, and you have to tell me which one is the lie.
Okay.
Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right. First one is, as we were stating at the beginning of this episode, Armageddon, 1998.
Okay.
The first one is, Ben Affleck asked director Michael Bay, would it be easier for NASA to train astronauts how to drill rather than training drillers to be astronauts? Michael Bay told Affleck to shut the hell up. Next, the scenes on the oil rig were shot on an actual oil rig off the coast of Galveston. And Galveston is in Texas.
I believe that. I believe that Galveston is in Texas.
Okay. This is one of Michael Bay's favorite films he ever made.
Oh, wow. Man. I mean, I'm sure he likes his own movies. I think that 13 Hours is the greatest Michael Bay movie because it's like based on a true story. He does a really good job, and it fits nicely with his aesthetic with blowing stuff up.
Tell me, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the live one, wasn't his favorite.
He didn't direct that.
Yeah, he did.
Michael Bay did not direct the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Focus up, fellas.
Okay.
Focus up.
Which one of those is a lie?
I think it's the Ben Affleck one is so compelling because you just want that to be true. I think the first one's a lie.
The Ben Affleck one?
The Ben Affleck one, yeah.
You were wrong.
Ah,
Michael Bay hates this movie.
Oh, he hates this movie.
Just like everyone should. I'm just reading what Chris wrote. Chris is speaking through me.
Armageddon's a terrible movie.
We've soul bonded. Me and Chris are soul bonding over here.
I've heard Ben Affleck say quite a few dumb things over the course of my life, so I probably should believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think what he said was dumb though.
No,
I think he
easier
poked a
for
giant
NASA
plot
to train
hole.
astronauts how to drill rather than training drillers to be astronauts? Bay told Affleck to shut up. Hey, we don't need your common sense here,
You're an
guy.
actor. Your job
You're
is
being paid to act,
not to think.
Don't act smart. Okay, next one. Battlestar Galactica.
Oh.
Glenn A. Larson, who'd been trying to revive his franchise for a year, was unhappy about the reboot and the idea of making Starbuck into a woman in particular. There was a character named Starbuck.
Yeah, she's the main character.
Oh, interesting.
And it was a guy in the original series.
Okay. In the reboot, the Cylons were originally going to be written as the good guys, with the humans being the aggressors.
Interesting.
Finally, the original 1978 title Adam's Ark was changed to Star Worlds to try and capitalize off the success of Star Wars, before eventually settling on Battlestar Galactica.
I think the last one, or I think the let's see. They all sound really compelling.
Hello.
Let's say the last one is a lie.
What, the original 1978 Adam's Ark?
Yeah.
That is the truth.
Oh.
You can't handle the lie. The lie is, in the reboot, the Cylons were originally going to be written as good guys and the humans being the aggressors. That is the lie. Call yourself a Battlestar Galactica.
I wonder what his rationale was for not liking that Starbuck became a girl.
I think because I've read numerous biographies about him. Not really. Maybe he's just a raging misogynist.
Okay.
Or maybe he just really wanted Starbuck to be a dude.
Maybe that was just his.
Maybe he's the one that.
Maybe
he's the one that screwed Cortana over.
Yeah, maybe he's the one that wanted her to be flat chested.
Yeah. Okay.
Just randomly.
Next and finally, are you ready?
Yes.
Pacific Rim.
Oh.
Okay.
I gotta get this one right, man.
First one. For the robot cockpit scenes, Del Toro had his team build the interior of a full-scale Jaeger head.
Okay.
Next, 3 different endings were shot for the film. And finally, concept artists drew up 20 different kaiju and had 20 different Jaegers in preparation for the film.
I think maybe the middle one is the lie. The first one and the last one sound like they're pretty kind of productional stuff, you know. I think he actually did have them build an entire head, you know.
Congratulations!
Hey, I got one
You
right.
got everyone wrong.
Oh, man.
Okay, the lie is concept artists drew 20 different kaiju and 20 different Jaegers.
Well, you just must have
The
known what he
reason for
wanted.
this is a lie is because they made about 100 of each.
Oh, they made even more.
They made way more than 20. Well, congratulations for being the biggest loser
I'm
of
the
the
worst game player ever.
Day. It's okay.
It's good. It's a
It
dubious
happens to
honor.
the best of us.
And to me.
And to you. It's all right. How'd you like that game?
That was good. That was fun.
That was fun.
I just like reminiscing.
Those
about
were hard,
movies.
though.
Obviously, I don't know as much about them as I think I do.
Yeah, no, but those were like, none of those were blatant lies.
Yeah, they were all kind of semi-believable.
Yeah, it was just, you had a 33% chance.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, Chris is evolving. He's evolving and we are devolving.
Faster, smarter. He has the technology.
Yes. And you know what? You have the technology.
Good segue.
The listeners in
Good
their cars,
segue.
because this is the end of the episode. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin
I hate
your
to
day.
let you down. It's
Hate
a
to let you
disaster
down.
that this episode is ending.
But this episode
See how we bring it
is
full circle?
over. We hope you enjoyed listening to this one from your cars.
In your car.
Israel.
Folks, if you want to get a hold of us, you can check us out on Instagram at PCFM Podcast, or you can write us an email at pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. We have YouTube episodes. Go to our YouTube channel, PCFM Podcast. We always have extra content, and you get to see our handsome faces
Yes.
as well.
And you can see my awesome shirt.
My awesome shirt, too. We both have pretty awesome shirts, actually.
I think my shirt.
Mine's like a retro 1980s Hellblade.
And my shirt says, "I love my hot Chinese dad."
It's amazing. It doesn't really need any explanation beyond that. But we love you folks. We appreciate your support. Thanks for buying us all the coffees. With that being said, cue music.
Breast milk science. It's a thing, and it's our thing. We're ByHeart. We're an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most super food on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins found in breast milk. We're the first and only U.S.-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We make our formula in our own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, using a small batch manufacturing process that works to preserve the integrity of our ingredients. We ran the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in 25 years, and clinically proved benefits like easier digestion, less gas, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. We were the first infant formula company to earn the Clean Label Project Purity Award. And while we've put a lot into ByHeart, there's a long list of things you won't see on our ingredient list, like no corn syrup, no maltodextrin, no GMO ingredients, no soy, no palm oil. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.